Friends, ladies and gentlemen, I am Tadatoshi Akiba, Mayor of Hiroshima and the President of Mayors for Peace. I speak to you from the hypocenter of the nuclear age, the original ground zero. In the morning of August 7, 1945, as the smoke from the fires that had raged for 24 hours began to thin, the battered, bruised, and irradiated survivors were able to see what remained of their beloved city. Nothing. The entire river delta was a charred plain. Your great city could just as easily be transformed into a wasteland. Russian generals worked it out in detail during the Cold War, just as your military commanders envisioned the destruction of Moscow or Leningrad. I'm not sure exactly how the destruction was planned, but I can tell you this. No one consulted the mayor of London or Moscow or Leningrad. Cities by the hundreds were taken hostage in the nuclear standoff. Well, those days are over. And I'm not just referring to the Cold War. I mean the days of cities being docile hostages are over. Around the world, mayors are mutinying against this devil's pact of mutually assured destruction. I declare that cities are not targets. Cities should not be bombarded with any explosives, much less a nuclear bomb. Nuclear weapons should not be used anywhere, much less in cities. It is a monstrous crime to expose a populated area to the effects of a nuclear explosion. Why then has Mayors for Peace been unable to elicit a clear answer to a clear question? Do you explicitly rule out the use of nuclear weapons in lethal proximity to cities? If, in this day and age, national leaders are unable to distance themselves from the terrorists they fear and loathe, then it is clear to us that these weapons are dangerous in anybody's hands. They must be abolished before there is another Hiroshima or Nagasaki. It is also clear that something is dreadfully wrong when cities are turned into battlegrounds, bearing the brunt of the scourge of war. The use of explosive force in populated areas must be strictly prohibited under international law. No more Groznys, no more Fallujas, no more Tripolis, no more Haifas. In global solidarity, mayors are rising to the defense of their cities. I salute the mayors and council leaders who march and rally together today. They understand that their responsibility to protect their citizens can only be fulfilled by the massive engagement of all citizens, and their demands will not be heard without it. In opposing the replacement of Trident, you are sending a message to the people of my city and of Nagasaki that their loved ones did not die in vain, that the unstinting efforts of the survivors to win humanity have not been a waste of time. Prime Minister Blair has stated that Britain can manage to survive with a 200 Trident, but would be in grave danger with less than 160. This bizarre calculation is the result of trying to please both the British people and their nuclear industry. Britain has an historic opportunity to signal the turning of the tide away from barbarism and toward civilized cooperation. If Cold War warriors Kissinger, Schultz, Perry, and Nunn can see the light, surely the days of nuclear weapons are numbered. Rather than betting on a grim nuclear-plagued future, a self-fulfilling prophecy, if ever there was one, Britain can lead us all toward a nuclear weapon-free world. Thank you so much for showing the world the great and true heart of the British people.